with a noisy, scolding bird that's probably the size of a baby's hand in the background, just going on and on and on, even though I moved away from where we first met him. I'd like to talk to you about consumerism. Consumerism is the activity of buying things, basically, I guess you could say. And there are different kinds of consumerism. There's the standard kind of consumerism would either be categorized. Well, you could have conspicuous consumerism, where people buy way more than they need or really want, and they're driven by manipulation by advertising and marketing. They are also driven by trying to maintain appearances or status, and other factors also contribute to their purchasing habits. Preferences, obviously. Then there is the necessary consumerism, where people only purchase what they actually need and don't waste their money on unnecessary purchases. They don't, unlike conspicuous consumerism, where people will tend to use credit, either a loan or a credit card, in order to get what they want. Hold on a second, my lens is dirty. There. Am I a little bit clearer now? I hope so. So conspicuous consumers are not necessarily very savvy about using credit wisely, although some are, but their motivations are corrupted in different ways. So aside from conspicuous consumerism and necessary consumerism, there are others, but the primary other one that I want to focus on right now is conscientious consumerism. Conscientious consumerism is where you choose things that you want and need to, and you buy them, but when you buy them, you take into consideration various factors that impact society, the environment, people's psychological well-being, and financial well-being. A lot of people can't actually afford to do this outside of certain constraints related to their income levels and whether they're also conspicuous consumers or over-consumers. But you look at, it may also be motivated by health concerns, which is an intrinsic need or an intrinsic motivation. You may, oh my gosh, so noisy. I'm sorry. You may choose to purchase something because it's good for your health. Maybe you have problems with gluten. Maybe celiac disease, or maybe you've confirmed that you have gluten intolerance, and so you avoid gluten in foods. Or maybe you are like me and you are lactose intolerant to the nth degree, so you avoid food that has dairy products in it. Or maybe you're a vegetarian, and so you eat nothing that is not vegetarian. Or maybe you're a vegan and you eat nothing that has animal or animal byproducts in it, or some other combination. Or maybe you have your special diet that you're following because you believe it'll help you, or because your doctor has prescribed it for you. You may have health issues. Whoa, my cat's pulling me around here. You may have health issues that force you to follow certain dietary restrictions. Or you may make purchases rather than because of diet, but because you are looking at issues like child labor, or animal testing, or abuse of vulnerable ethnicities, and that sort of thing. So that is conscientious consumerism. Now, the difference between conscientious, conspicuous, and necessary consumerism is that of the three, only conscientious consumerism allows you to make a positive impact on the world. Necessary consumerism, in combination, also allows you to do that within your means. Conspicuous consumerism can also be combined with conscientious consumerism, whereby you buy in a conspicuous manner, you buy for status and things like that, but you're always careful to buy conscientiously, not just looking for what's the most fashionable, but what's fashionable and at the same time has a positive repercussion for the planet, for a country, for a society, or something like that. Conspicuous consumerism is actually a really big problem because it results in a lot of problems for the environment, for societies, and so on. And it encourages not just bad decisions on your part, but bad decisions on the part of manufacturers. So, to a degree, manufacturers give in to demand. Now, some manufacturers will do anything to meet demand. Some manufacturers will do certain things to meet demands, and some manufacturers are conscientious. If you buy from, or you buy the products of manufacturers who either do anything or do some things that are bad for the planet, or people, or animals, then you contribute, you are an accessory to the crime, as it were, which obviously is not good. You may not care, but that consequence for the people on the other end of the supply chain, the people who, or the environment or whatever, may eventually come back and bite you in the butt. It could happen. It does happen. There are numerous examples, like tanning leather. The chemicals, if they're not dealt with appropriately, they can end up in the water supply and cause you to develop cancer. Or a manufacturing plant, if they have chemicals, they have waste that they're not dumping correctly, they're not dealing with correctly, that can end up in your food chain. Because animals might eat it, or it might end up in plants that animals eat, or something like that, and so on and so forth. So there are lots of repercussions that may hurt you, and you may think, well, gosh, this is made in Madagascar, and I'm never going to go there, and you're probably right. You probably aren't going to ever go there, and you may never have... you may never suffer the consequences. However, the consequences may in some way reach you eventually, such as through price hikes, or poor quality, or contamination. Maybe you decide, I want to get my child this lovely bead set for making necklaces and bracelets and stuff, and you decide to buy one that is very inexpensive, but it looks very nice, and you purchase it. It comes out of maybe China, and I use China because there are examples where this has happened. And a couple, 3, 5 years down the road, your child develops cancer, skin cancer perhaps, and it's because of the chemical composition of the beads. It turns out that the manufacturers in China made them in a way that made them dangerous, that made them carcinogenic, which is cancer causing. And so your child may develop cancer, and having watched my wife go through cancer treatments and die of cancer, I can tell you it's a horrible thing, especially if you have to watch your child or other loved one go through that. So, I know a lot of people are not going to change their purchasing habits. And I know for some people it's very difficult because your money is so limited that you really don't have much choice. I'm not rich. I sometimes have to buy things that I'm not certain about. I don't have a lot of purchasing power, as it were, in terms of being conscientious. But if I can, that's what I want to do. So I think it might be helpful if there's a nonprofit out there that helps people to, within their budget, be consumers that are conscientious. I wonder if such a thing exists. If you know about one, please leave information about that organization in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.